What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 104 of the Chumpcast. Fan favorite drunk Erica sat in for Brick this week as we discussed the most awkward movies to watch with your parents. We also get some news of the week before we get into our review of The Meg, starring Jason Statham and a giant shark. For next week, we're stealing a question from Facebook. Sue me. We want you to replace the Infinity Stones from the Marvel Cinematic Universe with other movie props that serve the same purpose. For example, we could replace the Time Stone with the DeLorean from Back to the Future. Get creative. You can find us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. You can also call or text us at 847-920-6107. If you want to support the show, you can find our merch at thechumpcast.com. We always appreciate kind reviews, subscriptions, and ratings on Apple Podcasts. You can also shop through our Amazon affiliate link at thechumpcast.com/Amazon. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to my script about the 100-foot-long platypus.
I'll go.
Okay.
What are tickets going to be, like $20?
No, there'll be more than that. For a concert at Wrigley, there'll be way more than that.
Want to know how cool I was?
How cool?
Me and the guy went to the Wilmette High School together or whatever, and yeah, I knew him very well.
Who was the guy?
The guy with the red hair. No,
Oh, yeah?
We're actually going to record a podcast now.
Oh, God.
Welcome to episode 104 of the Chumpcast. Thanks to everybody who's hopping on to our Facebook live stream. Do you guys remember when Brick used to be on this show?
Yeah.
Who's that? I'm just kidding. I love you, Brick.
He's dead to us.
Oh, he'll get so mad at me.
I don't care.
I'm going to have to take him off the logo again.
He never wanted to be on in the first place.
Yeah, he doesn't like being on logos.
Can you add me? I would really, really like to be a Rick and Morty character.
We could have her just be like the drunkest character of all time, just falling over, stumbling.
Let's see, if you bake me a meringue pie, I will make you...
I'll bake you whatever you want. Is that really what you want?
Yeah.
A meringue pie?
Sounds
really,
good right
that's
now.
really
no,
what you want.
Key lime pie sounds better right now.
That's
okay.
the weirdest
all right.
request.
Yeah. Bake
Done.
me a key lime pie and you will be a Rick and Morty
All right.
character. I
Done.
probably will do it anyways because now I'm like thinking about it and like that could be actually pretty funny. So I'm
you guys
probably
remember
gonna do it.
when Brick was here? He's not going to be here next week either.
Really?
We're gonna find a guest. In his defense, he's at Brad Hansen's wedding tonight.
Shout out to Brad Hansen.
Hell yeah,
Shout
Brad.
outs Brad Hansen, Bradley,
Early
Albert
congrats.
Handsome, marrying a wonderful woman.
Oh,
And
she's amazing.
she's great. And so is he. He's probably the most genuinely nice person I've ever met.
For sure.
I
which
agree.
is absurd, but I love you, Brad. Good luck.
Hey, you're getting married soon,
Nah.
right?
No, I already did
Maybe.
most of the work.
Is that a real thing?
I don't
Oh, yeah.
think so.
Oh, yeah. We're getting married.
To who?
right? To each other? No?
I don't think so.
Is that
Okay,
how-
guys, we'll do it right now if you really want to.
Okay.
Are we going to live stream our wedding?
We should do it.
Oh my God. Think of the clicks.
Even if we don't live stream it, we need to make it a podcast episode.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey guys, welcome back to episode 116.
What's up, Darian?
Yes, and you had it correct. Ryan and Erica just got married. See what happens after the first day when they go to brunch and get shit-faced. All right.
For
I'm
real.
done with that.
Honestly, though, I couldn't imagine my wedding day being any different.
Just
fair.
brunching for your wedding day, that would
Well, and
be
the
amazing.
Chumpcast.
And being asleep by
live recording.
9 p.m.
Yeah, it sounds ideal to me.
All right, let's get into our question from last week because it was a good one, I think.
Hold on, I need my phone out.
Oh,
I need to I need to help you read the responses because they
you
were
really don't
over the top.
because you can't really read anyways. So our question was, what was the weirdest movie that you ever watched with your parents or your grandparents or your priest or a nun? I'm surprised that we didn't get more about like first dates because I could see how that would be super awkward. If
Oh, yeah.
you don't really know somebody very
Yeah,
well
for
and you
sure.
get a sex scene. But a lot of these were just parents,
Yeah.
which makes sense. So we got a really good voicemail from Darian. If you want to put those headphones on,
give me
you'll be able
one
to hear
second,
this.
Okay, so I'm a little excited, and the story might be longer, but only here. Okay, so it was, this was, I don't know how long ago it was, but I was watching Gone Girl with my granny. You know, my granny, she old, so she
Your
want to
granny.
watch movies and all that, but it's like, usually I watch a lot of fucked up movies, so I'm like, let's find something normal. I mean, and despite the fact that Gone Girl was like far from normal, but I'm like, I'm gonna just show granny this crazy
Gone
little
Girl was
white
not
bitch, you
normal.
have a nice time. I'm not a rap bro, so anyway, though. Okay, so we started watching it. And the movie starts, and it's the scene when Ben Affleck, like he gets a start, he gets to eating a girl, boom, boom, or whatever. And
What?
he loses her fucking mind, bro. She's like, so it starts, and she just swears, like she's like, woo! And she's just like, I don't know how they could do that, blah 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 blah. And I'm just looking at her, and I'm just completely shocked. I'm like, bro, it's oral sex. And I think I asked, I basically acted like, yeah, Granny, like, granddad wasn't eating that thing.
Oh my God.
No, like, Herman, I'll always try. But that's like, no. I mean, he want me to do this and this. And I was just like, wow. Oral sex wasn't popping in the 40s. But at the same time, like, he had this real Christian background. But it's just like, ever since, like, I could not look at your own girl the same. But even aside from that, I was thinking, like, as far as, like, my granny, like, you got up to like 70 years old at least, and you never got your poom poom made. So like, what kind of life did you live? But it's just, I mean, I wouldn't say it was kind of uncomfortable, but it just,
a little bit,
kind of uncomfortable, Darren. Just kind of.
Oh yeah, and I'm back doing a voice message. Y'all enjoy the remainder of your day.
You're back with the voicemails, man. Thank you for that. Holy shit!
Thank you, Darren. That was probably one of the best voicemails we've ever got.
Did he say poom poom?
He did. He did say poom
Wow,
poom.
that's amazing.
Gone Girl has to have one of the most disturbing. I don't know if it was the first act. I think it was like the opening scene where wasn't it just like a rape scene?
I never saw Gone Girl.
Really?
I actually read the book, but I did not see the movie.
No.
I don't know why. Because I read the book in anticipation to see the movie, and I just never saw it. I don't know why.
I think I'm thinking of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah.
Wrong.
A very different
movie.
movie.
Okay, now I know what you're talking
Way
about. Ben
different.
Affleck. Okay,
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking of. And
Yep.
she like burns "I'm a rapist" in his back or
that
whatever.
was
that's a
Daniel
way
Craig,
different.
Tattoos
not
it.
Ben Affleck.
Tattoos it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got some great submissions, and all of this sounds very awkward. So Arturo Rafney, Boogie Nights. And this came from Instagram. He was 9, his brother was 8, and his dad didn't want him sheltered from anything, so he'd let them watch literally anything, and his mom would freak out at every curse word. So a movie about porn was a crazy awkward night. This was literally billed as a movie about a porn star. So, yeah, I can see how that would be really awkward watching with your parents.
That
for
would
sure.
be pretty awkward.
Did you ever see Boogie Nights? Are you sheltered from this? Dirk Diggler? Yeah, I'm going to go
I saw parts of it, but I saw it on AMC or something, so it was definitely not full on Boogie Nights.
And I would argue that it's probably Mark Wahlberg's best movie.
Yeah. Not Basketball Diaries?
That's
with Leo
DiCaprio.
He's in Basketball Diaries.
Is he?
Yeah. He's on the basketball team.
I forgot about that, but that actually shows up later.
I'll show you a picture in a little bit.
Wyatt McCourtney says Human Centipede, and also, I know that you're lying.
Stop. You're fucking lying.
You never did that.
You're
I know
a liar,
that you're lying.
dude.
Because all you had to do was look at the artwork on the poster, and you're like, oh, that is ass to mouth. That is not. You didn't watch that with your parents.
But
Good submission.
We still love you.
Lucky Boy Reviews says Chasing Amy.
These are nuts.
His commentary is, I was in high school. His parents are conservative Republicans. He still hasn't gotten over it, and neither have they. So this is a Kevin Smith movie, which is your warning number 1.
Is that the guy who
He's Silent Bob. Jane Silent Bob.
He's
That's
like
Kevin
super
Smith.
into comics, and he has like a comic show.
Comic Book Men was his.
Yeah. Okay.
Kevin Smith.
He like always wears like a hockey jersey or something.
That is exactly who Kevin Smith is.
Okay.
And big jorts.
Yep.
But he has a penchant for the very vulgar and sexual. I hate that I'm going to bring this up because I hate that I remember it, but his most vulgar tweet ever is about his wife finding a very special spot on his underside with her mouth. Okay, we're going to move on. DDT Dubs 41 sent us a couple, but only with quotes, and these are great. I'm going to give you the backwards one first.
Go.
Boy, oh boy, your mama sure does care about your education.
I thought it was... That's Forrest Gump, right?
It is.
I thought it was your mama sure does care about your schooling, though.
It's just whatever.
Okay. That's how I remember
Either way.
it. But
Technicalities.
It's the part where Forrest...
Sorry, this is a movie podcast. I'm just trying to... God.
You don't remember anything about movies. But Forrest Gump's mom is literally pimping herself out for Forrest Gump's benefit, I guess. His second one.
Awkward.
DDT Dubs. Can you feel the love
come on.
tonight? Those
Really?
lines were fucking.
Really?
That was weird.
No, it wasn't.
It was
You're telling
weird.
me.
How
Hang
old
on.
were you when you saw The Lion King?
Hang on.
15?
Well, it came out.
Come on.
It came out in 93.
Yeah.
So I was 7.
I was a child, so I would not have any knowledge of that. So what, were you watching it at 15 with your parents?
You know who did
Who?
have knowledge of that?
Who?
Your parents.
Whatever.
Your parents knew exactly what was going on.
I didn't know how awkward this
were
was.
Fucking.
I didn't know how awkward it was. Maybe they did. This wasn't like, hey, parents, what awkward movie did you watch with your kids?
Yeah, it's still weird.
But he doesn't know his parents thought it was weird.
It's definitely weird.
Is it a him? Sorry.
Wow.
Oh, Anthony's on.
Who?
Hi, Anthony.
That's a pretty dirty
Anthony
thought
who?
to have. Is it? I know how old DDT Dubs is. Yeah, I worked with him, so he's around my age. So he would have had to been like what? When did that movie come out for me? It was like
No, I think it was 93.
Yeah.
Well,
so what?
yeah,
Were you 8?
I was younger than that.
You were 6 years old. Did
But,
you
I mean,
really
you didn't
think
have
it
to
was
see
awkward?
it in the theater.
Come on.
Yeah, you didn't know what was going on. So,
But your parents did.
Yeah.
And if you look back at it, that's still weird.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I'm sorry
Unless
to
your
break
parents
this
are
to
like,
you.
I'm sorry. I don't think about.
Stop yelling into the
Okay.
mic.
I don't think about Lion
Wow, that
King.
took you all of 5
I
minutes.
told you I was going to yell. I don't think about Lion King, and I'm like, oh, that was weird to watch with my mom and dad.
I bet your mom did.
I bet you she didn't, because my mom is sheltered.
I hate to break this to you, but by the time you were born, your mother had had sex at least once.
No, that's false.
Okay. Let's move on, shall we? Brick had a submission, even though he couldn't be here. He says Basketball Diaries. This is dark in a different way. Definitely saw a young Leo was playing the lead, so I sat in knowing nothing. Boy, that's a dark movie, isn't it?
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg's in that movie.
I don't remember Mark. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
I'll pull up a picture
I'm sure that you're right, but still weird.
Mark Wahlberg.
At Mark Shuey on Twitter says, this is easy. The Jamie Lee Curtis strip scene in True Lies.
That was awkward.
It's very awkward.
And I saw that with my mom. I was in college and I got home from school break and I was watching it in the living room and I still felt awkward. I was like, I'm going to leave it on.
You were in college and it was still weird for you?
Yeah, my mom was like cooking and she's like, what is this? I'm just like, it's Arnold.
That's the thing
Just
is, I
making a
guarantee I
strip
would
in
have seen
front of
this
him.
as a child because it was an Arnold movie and I saw everything as an Arnold movie as a child. It was like Jingle All the Way, Commando, True Lies. And there's Jamie Lee Curtis taking her clothes off.
I've never heard of that movie.
Here.
True Lies? Mark, I believe you. It's okay.
Wait, maybe he's not. Oh yeah, I got to type in Diaries. Cool.
All right.
Unless I do.
Games Bond on Instagram, one of Brick's many alter egos, one of his multiple personalities. Yeah, you're right. I told you were right. He says Kingsman Golden Circle. I'm sure that he didn't watch this with his parents, but yeah, that scene where he has to place the tracker inside of her.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
I could see how that would be awkward.
I felt uncomfortable, and I think it was just you and I.
Really?
It's
weird.
weird.
You felt uncomfortable? Really?
I think it was just a poorly made scene.
Maybe.
He didn't like that movie, did he?
Brick? I don't
Yeah.
think he did.
Oh, I
I don't think he
loved
was
that
here for that
movie.
episode. I think that was you and me and Andy from glitchup.com.
I've never done an
Was it-
episode with Andy.
was it me?
unfortunately.
Then it was me
It
and
was
Brick
probably-
and Andy.
Yeah, it was Brick.
Are you
I
sure it
remember
wasn't
he
me?
said that movie wasn't that good.
I don't think you
Kingsman
were on it. Kingsman 2.
Oh no, I did that really stupid one with Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
No.
Oh, The Bad Batch.
Oh, yeah.
Were you there for that?
I don't think you were there for
With
that.
Jason Momoa?
What was the really? No. Sorry, just kidding. It wasn't Jim Carrey. It was
I know.
You know what I'm talking about. No,
I
it
don't.
was
Oh,
that
with
guy I hate.
Nick
I
Cage.
hate his face. Oh yeah,
Nick
Nick Cage.
Cage.
I hate
Mom and
his
Dad.
stupid face. Oh
That movie
yeah,
was
that
awesome.
stupid movie. I hated that
He's
movie.
awesome. He's
Oh.
the greatest.
No,
All right.
so stupid.
Oh,
Anyway,
he's so good.
Ari Little on Instagram says, watched God's Own Country, LBGTQ, movie with my mom, not knowing how graphic the sex scenes would be. It was pretty awkward since she's not comfortable with homosexual acts in general. Well, maybe you shouldn't watch a movie like this with your mom then.
Yeah, that'd probably not be a good.
now I could see where that would be extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah, you think?
Maybe a little bit.
And we got a text message from TJ. I was supposed to see The Borrowers with my grandpa, and instead I saw Titanic, first boob. I think that was a lot of people's first boob.
I think that was maybe
Oh.
my first boob too. Although I screamed and cried.
So did he see that in
When the
theaters?
ship
Is that
went
what
down.
he's saying? That
I think
would
so,
be the
yeah.
worst thing ever, sitting through that movie in the theater. Oh,
It's like 4 hours long.
Yeah, we did that too.
It's like
but
3 VHSs.
apparently I was screaming and crying when the ship was going down. So like everybody in the theater was like, who is this child? Please get her out of here. And like literally we had to leave. And my sister, Amanda, was so pissed at me that I was so upset during this movie. She wanted to watch it because she really wanted to continue to watch the movie. And I was like
Jack
in
Harris.
hysterics. and they had to take me out of the movie. And I didn't see the end of Titanic until it came out on VHS in four cassette tapes.
Yeah,
2.
Whatever.
it was 3.
We've talked about
I
this.
think it was 4.
To this day,
It's 3.
still never seen Titanic.
What?
You
I
haven't?
refuse.
Are you serious?
It's on my list.
All right,
What?
We have.
I don't think I can watch it with
Not
you
enough
again. I
time.
think I'll be hysterical.
A Walk to Remember. Never gonna watch it.
Wait, why did you just bring
a
that up?
Walk through.
Why did you
It's
just bring
because
that
it's
up?
on my list of movies that I'll never watch.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would you even put that movie on your list?
I'm just diametrically opposed to all of that.
But why would you put it on your list?
How
I don't know.
about My Girl?
Okay.
Have you ever seen that movie?
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Very sad.
Oh,
Very sad movie.
Incredibly sad.
that was one of the movies that scarred me as a child.
I really did think we were going to get
Fucking
more
bees.
like
I hate bees.
first dates or, I don't know, drive-ins. I did go to a drive-in. I was too young to remember. This is a story that my parents and my sister just tell me, but,
Wow, you went to a drive-in. You're old.
well, it
I
was
used to
in
go to drive-ins
1992.
until I was
You're old,
like
too.
in high school.
It was like 90, well, no,
such
when did
thing.
They were
Terminator-
cool.
Terminator came out? Like
95, 94.
way before that. It was like 90.
No.
Yeah,
Yes.
the first one was like 89 or 90.
Yeah, so we went to see that in a drive-in, and apparently I was a little kid and I was bawling my eyes out because everybody was being murdered on screen, and that was bad. I'm surprised we didn't get more weird shit. I can think of a couple more, like if we're watching a war movie, my dad will get up and leave.
84 Terminator. Holy
What?
shit.
Okay, it had to be Terminator 2 then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
'Cause
kind of what I was
wasn't
thinking,
even born
to
yet.
be honest.
Yeah.
I thought Terminator 2
Sorry,
was
that
like
was
the
bothering
original.
Everybody's answer was Titanic because that was everybody's first boob. Erica, do you have an answer for this?
I do have an answer for this. It was when I was a little bit older, but still, so my dad forced me to go see Step Brothers with him, which, don't get me wrong, I love that
Sounds
movie.
awesome.
That movie is amazing. But also the father-daughter relationship is supposed to be a little bit more sacred than Step Brothers. And there were a couple scenes, I don't know if you remember, but there are a couple scenes where it gets a little graphic with the fingering, and there's some
What, when they're
sexual
in the
scenes.
bathroom?
Yeah, when they're banging in the bathroom.
Yeah, when they're, well, okay, so they're banging in the bathroom, but then also there's a scene, I'm not going to say it. It's inappropriate.
He's banging,
He's finger banging her.
well, also he has sex with her. in
He
the
also,
bathroom.
yeah. And then then he takes his balls out and puts them on. It was just an awkward, I love the movie, but it was a really awkward movie to see
Oh,
with
yeah.
my dad as a daughter.
I would have been laughing.
And of
my
course
ass
he
off.
was laughing his ass off, and I was like,
And it's
I mean, I wanna
it's
laugh,
not
but this
romantic,
is
it's ugly. It's got,
Yeah.
what's his name? The curly
Right.
head. Fuck. What's his name?
John
it was
C.
just
Reilly.
it was I felt really
Also in Boogie
uncomfortable.
Nights.
I just felt really
I
uncomfortable.
love John C. Riley, though. Let's
He's
be honest.
amazing.
I mean, I
Also,
love the movie, but I
one
felt
of his
so
best
uncomfortable.
roles ever was in Boogie Nights.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
amazing.
remember him
You
in
should watch
Boogie
it.
Nights.
I'm surprised that your answer wasn't something to do with Kath and just someone being mean to someone else, like Jafar being mean
I mean,
to
that's
Aladdin.
like every movie. I mean, my mom gets offended by anyone being mean to anybody else in any movie. So
How long
that's
was it
hard to
before you
narrow
were
down.
allowed to watch something that wasn't the Disney Channel?
I'm going to be honest. I did not know what MTV was until I was in high school, and I was probably, I don't know, junior in high school.
You missed out. MTV Spring Breaks, where Blink-182 would just be playing.
No idea what it
Just
was.
oh my God.
Like my
best.
parents gave me the channels that were available to me, and I was like, "Oh, there's nothing else outside of that. Cool, that's fine."
Just
So
Halloween
sheltered.
Town every single day.
Oh, for sure,
And then
100%,
Smart House every
Oh.
other day.
billion%.
What was Under
13,
Wraps?
the 13th
Was that
year,
Under
under
Wraps?
wraps, the 13th year.
Under
Oh my God.
Wraps, Johnny Tsunami, Team X-Blades in Brink,
All right, let's move on. Unless anybody else has a different story.
a lot
Okay.
of vagina, Austin Powers.
I would never-
Oh, I forgot.
I would never
about
watch that with
Austin
my
Powers. Oh my
The
God.
hot tub scene. I was
Yeah.
like, that came out when I was probably 6 or 7. I remember we were all sitting
Yeah.
around in the family
Yeah.
room, and I was just like, goo.
A lot of vagina.
A lot of
So
it. Yeah,
stupid.
and the name
Yeah,
itself. Holy
For
shit.
sure.
All right, for next week, we have
I'll be
a
right back.
very
Bathroom.
intricate question. And I'm going to say that I unapologetically stole this from a Facebook group that I'm a part of, from the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates group. It's the Weekly Planet podcast.
Oh,
has-
love them.
Yeah, they're great. They're hilarious. But I'm stealing this question because I thought it was really good. Thanos from Infinity War wants to replace the Infinity Stones with relics that do the same sort of thing from other movies. So, for example, the Time Stone, the DeLorean from Back to the Future, or the Time Turner from Harry Potter, or any other thing that travels through time. The hot tub time machine.
That's a good
Hilarious. The Power Stone. The spinach from Popeye. Steroids from any movie ever.
Any fight movie.
From Rocky. The Mind Stone. The Limitless Drug. You just think about it.
I get it. I get what you're saying.
I don't need all 6. Just give me one. We'll post this on Instagram. Send us your best answers, and we will play these on the show next week. Are you?
There's so much lag on this live right now.
Yeah, so turn it off, dumbass.
Like, Mark doesn't know what I'm talking about, but I do because I was watching you while I was taking a pee on live.
Will you turn that off? God, it's like you've never done this before. So that's the question for next week. You can find us on all social media at the Chumpcast, or call or text us at 847-920-6107. I memorized the number. I'm just saying. It took me a while. How many phone numbers do you remember off the top of your head?
My home phone number, my phone number, and that Chumpcast phone number.
Yeah.
And your phone number.
No, you don't. What's my phone number?
You hate talking on the phone.
Put it out there live right now. Yeah, I do. You call me and I'm like,
he takes really long pauses when he talks to on the phone. I'm just like, are you there?
Right?
You're the
We
worst,
just said
man.
that at the
I
same
hate
time.
you. I'm getting
Why?
Said
Because
that
I
at
don't.
the same time.
No. See, the thing is, if you take a long pause, you go, whereas I'm just like,
no, my whatever question I usually ask you is a quick answer.
no, not even close.
It's like, hey, I'm going to be over at your house at 7:00 for the podcast. Okay.
Yeah, that requires some thought. I'm like, what do I have to do?
All right.
That is so accurate.
Let's move on.
I hate you guys. All right, news for the week. Let's start with some DC news.
Okay, great.
Mark Maron, our guy from Glow, who is the real creep.
Yeah.
And the best line ever with Woom Goof, has joined the Joaquin Phoenix Joker origin movie in an unnamed role. Can you guess what this will be?
Who he will be?
Yeah. Like an unnamed henchman, or I could see him as like the comedy club owner that is just a dick to the Joker and gets murdered.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Maybe like the head worker at Ace Chemicals. It's an origin story.
Yeah, but he also starts off as like a failing comedian.
Yeah, that could be it too.
Wait, so they're switching it up from Joaquin Phoenix to...
Oh, they're going to keep doing both.
They're doing both.
Wait, what?
It's almost like
Can you
if you
please
listen to the
explain this?
podcast, you would know this.
I definitely listen all the time.
Don't worry, you don't need to listen to the podcast.
They're going to do an origin story of the Joker.
No, I knew that.
With Joaquin Phoenix. The current continuity is still going to be Jared Leto.
That is so stupid.
I'm okay with it because
Why?
it means another
Why are you
superhero
okay with
movie.
it?
Because
Villain
he
movie.
loves the Joker.
Why wouldn't you... Okay, but why wouldn't you just want the same character playing the same character?
Because Jared Leto sucks.
Because it doesn't
Yeah.
matter either way.
How does it not matter?
I'm fine with giving Jared Leto another chance, and I'm fine just watching him in another Joker role. Plus, I'm fine with seeing another guy try to do better than him and possibly will
in the
ultimately
same
take over the
timeline
role.
of movies
Certainly
being
do better than
released? How does that even make any sense?
It's more DC. It's more Joker. It's more of what I like. So
How
it's
I roll.
are
if Heath Ledger was still alive and he was in the role, and then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do an origin story with Joaquin Phoenix," I'd be like, "No, fuck that." You know,
it's the same
But-
thing where
That's because Jared Leto sucks as the Joker.
Yeah, so I could care either way if he's gone or if he just tries to do another movie. I'm still gonna probably go watch it.
it's the same
I
thing.
see what you're
watch it.
saying. I see what you're saying.
It's the same thing where Grant Gustin and Ezra Miller can both be the Flash at the same time.
True.
It's just like different timelines.
Nobody cares about the Flash, though.
I do.
I'm just going to be real about that, though. No one really cares about the Flash.
You don't care about the Flash.
Nobody really cares about the Flash, though.
I care about the Flash.
I care about the Flash. All right, more DC casting news. Ruby Rose is going to play Kate Kane in the upcoming CW Batwoman crossover.
Do you not like her?
She was so terrible in this movie that we're going to
She
talk
was so
about.
good in the Meg.
Oh, what? Are you kidding me?
I can't even say
Oh
it with
my
a straight
God,
face.
are you
I'm gonna-
kidding
She was
me?
terrible.
I'm going to be completely honest.
She was actually terrible.
She's really not a great actress.
No, she's really not.
She
like,
was
she's
fine
hot.
in John Wick 2.
She's pretty.
She didn't have any lines.
She
She's
didn't have
terrible.
lines.
She
She's
had
pretty.
zero lines.
She's very pretty. She's an aesthetically beautiful looking human being. Like,
She's huge in like this
but she
media
was
presence, and our generation loves her as she DJs.
Is she really?
Yeah.
What?
So
I think the big selling point for this is that Kate Kane in continuity is a lesbian.
yes,
Okay.
And
That
so
too.
is Ruby
Well,
Rose.
I guess
So-
that makes sense.
If you're going to find somebody that can play it accurately,
Yeah.
then yeah. Makes sense. Look, these CW shows are so corny and cheesy that it doesn't really matter.
Oh, she's going to be on a show?
Yes.
It's not a movie.
Oh, that's interesting though, because she's been doing like really, well, I mean, I guess she was in Orange is the New Black, which is a show, but it's on Netflix.
I haven't watched
You didn't
it.
know that?
No, I don't remember seeing her in that.
Yeah,
I watched the first seasons.
That's kind of where I got familiar with her. And then, but that's not really, I mean, it's a show, but it's, it's Netflix, so it's a little bit different. It's not
the only thing I
week
know
to
her
week.
from is ridiculous movies like Triple X,
John Wick 2. Yeah.
The Meg.
Oh, she was in John Wick?
John Wick 2.
Okay, John Wick
The second one.
Okay.
And she was deaf. She was mute, so she didn't even have any lines.
Interesting.
Yeah.
She looks badass.
I was going to say she's very
good at playing
attractive
badass.
looking,
Yeah.
and
Her hair is perpetually in her face.
Yeah. I mean,
she
that's
has
in every
a
movie
very
possible.
good facial structure.
Yeah,
too,
she really
and
does.
Looking just badass.
She really does.
in
But
general.
like, I don't want to get into the movie at this point, but
Darian
was
is on
terrible.
our Facebook feed, and he says, Ruby Rose is garbage juice. That
Yes.
is harsh.
I agree
That's
with
harsh.
you, Darian. She is garbage.
Either way, I don't really care about this that much because it's a CW
Because you're not
show.
gonna
So
watch it.
we're going to have 25 episodes
Yeah.
that are an hour long of her origins and not even playing the actual role
Yeah.
of Batwoman. And then we're finally going to get the suit after season 2, season 3, after
It's
64
not Gotham.
episodes.
Yeah.
I'm
All
not
right.
going to really watch
Let's
the
just
show at
move
all.
on.
Doesn't matter.
Roman Sionis. Does that name ring a bell?
Nope.
AKA Black Mask.
Yes, I
Nope.
love Black Mask.
Is reportedly the villain in the Birds of Prey movie coming from DC. So we kind of take these casting rumors with a grain of salt, but WB is supposedly targeting Vanessa Kirby, who we recently saw in Mission Impossible as White Widow, for Black Canary, and also Alexandra Daddario as the Huntress. So DC has never really shied away from these big names in casting them.
Oh, I didn't know the Huntress is going to be in this.
At least they're swinging for the fences.
They have to.
What the fuck else do they have?
I am super pumped for this.
I
Way
find
more
that
fun
pretty
than-
interesting. You get big name actors. That's step one to getting people interested. I just hope that DC is going to stop announcing these movies and not making them. I can't see that.
I know. I was trying to pass it to
What
you.
did
Okay,
it say?
well, I'm talking
Did
to
I
a
read it out
microphone
loud
right
or
now.
no?
But conversely, the Supergirl film is reportedly in the making with a script from Oren Uziel, who wrote Cloverfield Paradox and 22 Jump Street.
Not 21 Jump Street.
No, 22
Just
Jump
22.
Street.
Only two.
Yeah.
Only 22.
That happens with a lot of movies, actually,
Really?
where they can't get the same person to write the second sequel.
Is that why, for the most part, sequels are not as good as the original?
That probably has a lot
Yeah.
to do with it, actually.
Makes sense.
But back to this. DC, do the right thing. People love Melissa Benoist in that TV show. Let her play Supergirl.
Is that that
Mhm.
blonde chick?
Yes.
I've never seen the show, but I see her all
People,
over the
for the
place.
most part, love anybody that is currently playing any role in any CW show. Name one actor or actress right now in a CW show that someone's like, they suck.
I can't.
Can't. They love the person
Well-
in the Flash. They love what's his name in Arrow. They love
Grant
Supergirl.
Grant Gustin, Stephen Amell. Stephen Amell's pretty good. He shows up on like WWE wrestling matches and shit.
I saw that. Yeah.
He's pretty great.
Yes.
His brother is actually a big actor too. Jason Amell. Anyways,
I've heard it. I've heard Jason Amell. I've never.
in other
seen-
news,
Hold on. Can I interject real quick?
please.
Did you see? I don't know if this was just. I don't know if it was Nerdist or Den of Geek or whoever just trying to write some random article, but supposedly DC is in talks with James Gunn to get him on a movie. Have you seen anything like that? You don't think so? Okay. We can look after we shut this down, but I saw an article and I'm just curious if you looked further into it.
I think that's really slim chance. We have some news on James Gunn. You know what? Let's just do it now. Dave Bautista claims that he will ask Disney to release him from his contract if they don't use James Gunn's script for Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Isn't Dave Bautista the guy from
He's
Dexter?
Drax. What?
From Dexter, or you mean Drax?
I meant Dexter.
You're thinking of Angel Bautista.
Oh, those are the same thing, right?
No.
Okay.
Dave Bautista is a wrestler and plays Drax, and he's not going to do this movie if they don't use James Gunn's script.
Wait, is James Gunn the guy who got in trouble for something he said a long time ago on Twitter? I don't know what he said, but is this
Again,
the story?
it's almost like if you listen to this
No,
podcast.
I knew.
It's okay.
Yes, we've talked about this for the last couple of weeks, and I'm only saying this because I don't want to belabor it, because if you listen, then you know already what's going on. They kicked him off. They're not going to hire him back. They made that really clear. I applaud Dave Bautista for taking a stand here. It's probably not the best hill to die on for your career, because if you piss off Disney, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
think
they own
also
everything at this point, so...
He's got enough goodwill that I think he's going to be fine.
Okay, but who would replace him?
Make him Bane.
I think you can't. I think you just can't. I think you just say he died and he didn't come back.
That's really sad because he's such a great character.
Make him Bane.
That would really suck.
That's a lovely,
but they're in the
voice.
position where they could do that, right? Was he one it? Not to be a spoiler, but
no, it's at this point. If you haven't seen Infinity War, fuck you. You shouldn't be watching this.
Agreed.
They could easily write him out of this. I think that would be stupid because people love him.
But I mean, if that's what he chooses to do, I mean, they don't really have a choice. You know?
No, I think it's okay on his part. I think he's making a stand and he's okay.
Yeah, but they're going to continue to go on. Yeah. Like that's not going to stop them. They're Disney.
You're correct. In other super duper important TV news, Alf is maybe back.
Wait, what? Oh, no.
I know that neither of you are old enough to have watched this.
I know what Alf is.
Yes, I know, but you didn't watch
it.
You didn't watch it when it
reruns.
I didn't watch it live.
Right, 9 years after it.
So, do either of you remember how Alf ended?
Did it eat a cat?
He was shot on the couch.
So no.
Somebody got pissed at him at a bar and came in with a shotgun and just killed him. I have no idea
Alf
what happened.
was about to go back to his home planet with other Alf aliens, and some government agents stepped in and took him to Area 51, presumably to vivisect him.
Are these the same people that took E.T.?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
But yeah, that's where the series left off. And apparently, the network was just like, yeah, we'll have him break out.
What
we'll just
a cliffhanger. What a cliffhanger.
I like my ending better.
That's
where he got shotgunned on the couch.
Well, because he was drunk and he
Yeah, isn't he always drunk?
He rigged a game of pool.
He just ate cats and was a piece of shit, a smartass.
No, what's his name? Who played the dad that would always come in and sit on the couch with him? Am I crazy?
I think you're thinking of something else.
Am I crazy, or am I just getting Alf and...
No, there was a family that lived with him.
All the family?
All the family mixed up.
Okay.
Wasn't?
Anyways.
Never mind.
Let's move on.
Never mind.
Oh my God. I was too young.
Important. Ben Schwartz, a.k.a. Jean-Ralphio.
Oh,
a.k.a.
my boy.
The guy from our drop from Best Man Alive, has signed on to voice Sonic the Hedgehog in the upcoming live-action movie opposite a Jim Carrey Dr. Robotnik.
Amazing.
We already talked about Jim Carrey. Jean-Ralphio is hilarious.
He's amazing.
And I think Ben Schwartz is great, and this is going to be the weirdest movie of the decade.
Okay, can you tell me, so right now people are super into recreating cartoons as live actions, which I can't understand, but whatever. Is this going to be a cartoon, or is it going to be live action?
It's going to be live action with CG.
What?
So, Ben Schwartz is going to be voicing. So I'm assuming that Sonic will be mostly CG or all CGI.
Are you telling me that Sonic is not a real person?
They're going to CGI what you're going to see in the movie.
Well, he's
Sonic,
a hedgehog.
But
the hedgehog is not real.
You're being sarcastic. Yeah, but but Jim Carrey, to my point, is going to be live action as Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah. He better put on.
He also doesn't look like a real person, so I don't understand that either.
He is perfect for Dr. Robotnik.
He really does.
Definitely.
No, perfect would be like
Danny DeVito.
Andy Reid.
Danny DeVito.
I don't know.
Andy Reid. He's got the mustache already.
Okay, put a mustache on Danny DeVito, and he is that man. 100%.
He's not big and fat enough.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. He's like 5'2".
Okay, you can make him look bigger.
Doesn't
He's
matter.
that fat.
Moving on.
I win.
Just yelling louder doesn't mean you win.
Yep, sure does.
Chris Pratt's Cowboy Ninja Viking movie has been scrubbed from Universal's upcoming slate and delayed indefinitely. I'm wondering if this has to do with the whole backlash from Disney and Guardians of the Galaxy and them coming out in support of James Gunn, which would really suck. I don't know anything about this comic, but knowing that it's called Cowboy Ninja Viking sounds pretty awesome. And you throw Chris Pratt in there, and I would have watched this.
Was this going to be live action or cartoon?
It was going to be a live action movie. Yeah.
Sounds interesting for a live action.
I know.
Who published this comic?
I think it's an Image book.
Okay.
Who else does Image? Anybody?
Saga is Image.
Oh, yeah? All right. Why can't we get a Saga live action?
Walking Dead is Image.
You think Saga will be
Invincible?
Live?
No. They
live
will never
action?
do it.
No?
I think
Brian K. Vaughan, who writes Saga, has already said, I don't want this to be a movie.
Oh, that sucks.
I think they're going to make Sex Criminals movie eventually.
That would make sense.
What is that?
It's a really great
I have it. I'll
story and concept.
It's where
book.
when they bone, they freeze time. And then they slowly
It's
realize
hilarious.
that other people can have the same power. Yeah. Moving on. Last piece of news. Nick Fury and Maria Hill are signed on to appear in Spider-Man: Far From Home, continuing the Marvel Cinematic Universe involvement in Sony movies. This is pretty smart on their part. So you think about Tony Stark's role in the first Spider-Man Homecoming movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a smart tie-in because Sony doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. This brings in Marvel, Disney, Kevin Feige.
Are you surprised though?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And the fact that they share Spider-Man is like, Sony would be so lost. I have so little faith in Sony to do anything well. And now the news is coming out that Venom is apparently going to be PG-13.
That's a little
That's
disappointing.
Isn't Venom coming out soon?
October.
Well, that's pretty soon.
Has not received an official rating. It will probably get a PG-13 release theatrically, and then the director's cut will be rated R.
Why would they do something like that?
no.
Because rated R movies don't make as much money historically as PG-13.
I mean, have they seen what Deadpool's done?
I
Like, come
know.
on.
Preaching to the choir.
No, I'm trying to understand. Like, is there a reason?
Good luck.
Deadpool was a risk though.
All right.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
initially.
but it paid off.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they saw that it paid off.
So now they're all
So-
for making 5 more of these movies, but with Venom, it's also a risk.
What's the difference, though? Like, what?
It's a wider audience that's available to go see.
You also have
Yeah.
Tom Hardy playing the main role in
Yeah.
this. So, there's
And I
that
forgot
too.
one piece of news. This is pretty big, actually. Still a rumor, but Idris Elba is rumored to be the next James Bond.
Who's that?
You would know him as Luther. You never watched Luther. He's Heimdall in the Thor movies. He's
That
been a
sounds
million
made up.
things. He's a great actor,
Okay.
and he's British as fuck. But people are going to be super pissed off, and by people I mean old white dudes, because he's a black guy. There will be a backlash that says James Bond has to be a white guy,
Well,
which
that's
is the
stupid.
dumbest shit ever.
That's
Because
incredibly
Idris
stupid.
Elba is fucking awesome.
He's
I
great.
would watch him do anything.
Yeah.
trying to think of a
especially
movie you
James
would know
Bond.
him from.
There is one box that you need to check to be James Bond, and that is
Badass.
British. Check.
Oh,
Yeah.
British, I
He's
guess that works.
British,
British
as
and
fuck.
badass.
I've heard that Luther, the TV show, is great, and I think we should watch it.
Yeah. All right.
But
Is that a CW show? Because it sounds like it.
It is not. It's.
Oh.
I think it's a BBC show.
Oh.
I think it's on Netflix, but doesn't matter. Idris Elba, great actor. I'm here
This guy.
for it.
Oh, love him.
Exactly.
What has he been in?
He was
Everything. He's in
Oh,
everything.
he would be an amazing James Bond.
Yes.
He has that like super slick.
He wears a suit in everything.
Yeah, like he has that super sly tone to him. Oh, he was in something.
He's really
I
British.
feel like he was in like Grey's Anatomy or
He was
something
with,
that like something that speaks to me.
I watched a movie with him with Kate Winslet, The Mountain Between Us, where they're stranded like on Mount Everest trying
Oh, that was a
climb
newer
it,
movie, right?
and then they fall in love. Is actually pretty
That was a
touching.
newer-
I liked it a lot.
oh,
Yeah.
Kate
that was-
Winslet.
yeah.
She still
Oh,
acts.
she's
Yeah, I
bringing
know.
it back.
Okay.
She's recently
She's coming
made a
back,
comeback.
man.
Yeah, she's made a comeback.
Fair
We're
enough.
making this full circle
Keep
right
your eye
now.
out.
Full circle right now.
All right. I don't think I missed any news, but who knows? So,
Best.
best.
Worst.
The worst! He's the worst person in the world. Huge
Shot.
skank, terrible, but thank you.
All right. Best man alive. Mark, do you want to kick this off for me?
Yeah, real quickly. This is going to be super quick. Best man alive. I don't know his name, but there is an Amish guy in Michigan who just created an Uber service with horse and buggy.
What?
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Because it has to be.
Yeah, and if you're thinking like, how did he create an Uber service? He would have had to come up with an app. No, he didn't. He didn't come up with any sorts of app. He's Amish. He doesn't have a phone,
Was it smoke signals?
so you just need to flag him down if you need him.
I feel like this is a ripoff of the carriage rides you get in Chicago. So
No.
he's not the original.
That's just hitchhiking, but
Yeah.
with a horse and buggy.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
pretty
He's
much.
all over the news. He's headlining news. Michigan Amish guy starts his own Uber. I don't know why people are calling it the Amish Uber service,
Because he's Amish.
but it has nothing to do with having an app on your phone. It's just him
It's the opposite.
doing business by riding around his buggy. But anyways, still pretty cool. Shout out to this guy doing something
You know what's great
besides
about
just churning butter or whatever.
that? The free market will crush him.
He's going to get crushed. Absolutely crushed. He might as well quit now.
All right. I want to step in here because I got a couple of these. My best man alive of the week is Steve Smith. Steve Smith Sr., the former wide receiver from the Carolina Panthers and Baltimore Ravens. He's the best. He's one of my favorite football players of all time. Perpetual badass. Even his retirement letter to the NFL. It's like, I'm retiring from 10 years of antagonizing defensive backs in the NFL. He's great. He's on NFL Network now. He's awesome. But he wrote this great piece for NFL.com describing his struggles with depression and never feeling like he was good enough, regardless of how successful he was with his career. You know, he's an all-pro, Pro Bowler at the highest level. So he's obviously awesome at what he does. But it didn't matter because sometimes you just can't control that stuff. A quote from this: "Too often taboo, depression is shut behind closed doors, especially in a tough guy sport like football. With social media, environments that glorify success and status, this makes all the sense in the world." So we're seeing this great trend now with athletes like Serena Williams, who comes out and details her struggle with postpartum depression. But these athletes have a platform to show more people that anybody is susceptible to this kind of depression. And it's not just like run-of-the-mill people like you and me. It's everybody. Everybody struggles with this. They diminish the negative stigma that comes with mental health issues. You know, these people are the best in the world at what they do, and they can still suffer from this kind of thing. So this is especially important from a badass like Steve Smith. So this really hit home for me, and I really appreciated it.
Yeah, it's good to see people starting to bring this topic up more, because I would say I would have to think back to when Logic released that song and everyone really started talking about it. And
you just love Logic.
I love Logic so much, but and Rick and Morty and Logic and Rick and Morty.
But Steve Smith is awesome.
But it's awesome. Yeah, you have him coming from a badass background of just being an amazing football player and doing this. So that's cool.
Erica, do you have a best man alive?
I have a best woman alive and then a best/worst man alive. Okay. So my best woman alive is a Texas woman. She was arrested for smoking marijuana. Or, I don't know, possession of marijuana, something of marijuana.
Was she smoking it or just had it in possession?
I don't know.
There's a big difference.
There is a big difference.
No, there isn't.
No, there's not. But either way, she took a mugshot. And, you know, we're in the age now of social media. So mugshots go viral all the time, which is just such a crazy concept in itself. But she has been getting requests for makeup tips based on her mugshot, which is so funny.
This happens all the time, though.
This is her picture.
That's amazing.
Makeup tips.
Tips. Like she's been getting multiple requests for like, can you send me some tutorials on how to do your makeup, how to do your eyeshadow, which is just incredible. Like you get arrested and you look fab as you could possibly look. You take a mugshot and it goes viral. And people are just like, that's what I'm saying. She's the best woman alive. It's amazing.
That's actually the first time you would think this kind of story would apply to just women, but every time I hear about something like this, it's always men.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember?
It's like, look at this guy's mugshot, and the next thing you see him is like in a Jeep.
Do you remember that guy they were talking about forever? That guy that took a mugshot that like made him and
his baby mama was like, this guy's still a piece of shit.
Yeah, that like made him like a model or some shit. Like it was insane.
There was another guy though. It's funny you brought that up. There was literally just another guy who had a mugshot.
Really?
He has like one eye that's kind of like albino and one regular colored.
No shit.
But he's like a good looking dude.
Really?
And some modeling agency reached out to him.
It's
given
insane.
That the reason he went to jail wasn't that big of a deal, so he could get out and do it.
Right. I mean, I guess it's not like murderers are being like recruited as models, you know, based on their mugshot. But like, how funny is it that we are in an age where you can get arrested for something and your mugshot goes viral? Like your mugshot is public, you know, to everybody. And it just like becomes something that you never even imagined it could be. I mean, it goes really bad for some people.
Well, before you know it, it's going to be like, all right, what kind of filter do you want on your mugshot right now?
Right? Oh my God, can you imagine?
Do you want the kitty cat ear filter, or you want the little flower where it lightens your cheek filter?
Do you want the unicorn vomiting filter?
I think you might actually be onto something though.
Oh yeah, what are we onto?
So models are generally miserable. They can't eat.
Are they though?
I mean, you've been on a diet. You understand how shitty that is. So imagine.
I usually feel great.
Who do you know that's a model, Smithers? How do you know this?
You were a model.
For?
You're just...
For what?
Saying they
what were you a model for?
I was not a model for anything. A receding hairline, and it's just thinning every day.
I'm so thankful that you made that joke so that I didn't have to. Because I would have felt bad afterwards.
Look at it!
But you know what I mean. Models
My hair's not that bad.
pretty much
it's
can't
not bad.
eat. What if we just made prisoners be models? Well, and like instead of stamping,
kind of what's happening.
And starve them.
Instead of stamping license plates, you make them work out. You don't feed them a ton. I mean,
And those are our models.
yeah.
I'm not really on board with that, but all right. I see what you're saying. Okay.
It was this
So,
guy
what
right
was
here.
it?
This guy was the guy that just got the modeling gig.
No shit.
The
Let me
guy
see
right
that.
there.
That's Tiger Woods.
That's literally, that looks like, that's
Literally Tiger Woods.
That is drunk Tiger Woods.
Oh,
That
man.
is Tiger Woods mugshot.
That is what my hair will be like probably by next year.
Have you tried like for hymns or anything?
What's for hymns?
It's
Is that
they
what,
advertise it on all sorts of podcasts.
Is that what,
No, I'm going to be Jason Statham eventually.
no, what is,
He will not let go of his hair.
Urlacher? What does
Oh,
Urlacher
no.
do?
That was
Is that what
actual
you're gonna do?
transplants
No.
where they
Oh.
take
No.
like your butt hair and put it
Oh,
into your
God.
forehead.
That's not a
Yeah.
real thing. You're
It
making
is.
that up.
It is.
I'm just
You
going
really think that
I'm
there
gonna
are
Jason Statham it, Bruce Willis it, The Rocket. Come on.
Urlacher's butt hairs are on his head?
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me?
Yeah.
I don't think I believe
It's exactly what I'm telling you.
that. I don't believe that.
It's his butt hair.
Okay. Well, anyway, so I also have a best/worst man alive
How is this person the best / worst?
because it's funny, but also it's
You're the worst.
yeah, but also you're the worst.
Okay.
Okay. So this happened in Germany. So apparently this man was so terrorized by a baby squirrel who was chasing him that he called the police. He literally called emergency 911 to have them help him.
This isn't funny because this has happened to me. And
What?
No, shut up.
my best friend John, I was at
A
his
baby
house,
squirrel.
couple doors down, and his mom had to come out with a broom. 'Cause
No.
I threw a rock. I was an idiot. I threw a rock at the squirrel for no reason. I'm an
So
asshole.
you're the worst
Mark.
man alive.
Yeah.
because You deserved it.
I didn't like hurt. I didn't hurt it, but I got pretty damn
You
close to its head.
aggravated it
And
like
it,
a
like,
dummy.
It looked at me and just started chasing me down the street. And she had to come out with a broom and whack it.
You're the worst. You deserve that.
It was.
I think that's.
I mean-
maybe this asshole German guy was. throwing
Maybe it
rocks
was
at a squirrel.
me. Maybe I did it. Maybe he take the squirrel and
Are squirrels mammals?
I don't know, the rodents. Is that a mammal?
Yeah, I would
mammals.
say yeah.
Just kidding.
Anyway,
It's a running joke that you would have gotten if you listened to the podcast.
Oh man.
so
Let me get a Truly, by the way.
yeah, those are good, right?
Can I have
You
one?
can have whatever flavor you want.
We're on air, by the way, because if you said no and we're live,
I would never say
he
no.
would be like, "Oh my god, you're
I would
an ass,
never.
Erica."
I would never say
No, I'm
no.
gonna have a Truly right now.
What flavor
I'm
is that?
just wanted to
truly
offer.
What
excited
flavor?
about
Oh,
having a
stop it.
Truly.
All right. Is
Stop it.
everybody else done?
Anyway, I just
Killed.
he's the best because I enjoyed reading the story, but also you're the worst because why the hell would you call the police? Just like you're an adult man, figure it out
It's the best squirrel alive for outing this guy
Oh, for
as
sure.
being a huge wiener.
for sure.
Here's what we'll do next. We will aggravate a squirrel, and we will put
I
you in
think
an
you've already
enclosed
done
area and have it chase you around.
I think you've already done that.
And then while you're running around screaming, we're going to say, "Hey, do you want us to call the police?"
Okay, here's the thing though, is I don't
And-
think I would intentionally ever aggravate a squirrel.
I
So
will
there's
hunt
that.
a squirrel.
Oh.
Okay, that's fine.
I will
All
kick
right.
Like
a
an
squirrel
Anchorman
50
with a
yards.
dog.
Just
Well,
destroy it. I have another worst man alive / group of people alive. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, aka the people who decide the Oscar winners.
I feel like you've
You mean
had something
AOMAMLY?
against them for a long time.
I have. But this week, they announced a category for quote unquote outstanding achievement in popular film,
In butt licking.
which should just be good movies that people like,
Hmm?
right? No.
What are the
This
nominees?
is them deciding that, wait a second, we have shitty ratings. We need to get more people to watch it. So we need to get movies that people actually enjoy and give them Oscars. Instead of these people who are sipping their
Farts.
Bordeaux
Yeah.
Cabernet and sniffing farts and reading the New Yorker and all this other dumb shit. And
Eating
they
the
just,
shit in
they're
their
just
belly
trying
button.
to
Yeah.
connect with the actual human being as opposed to their super pretentious shithead people. And
Drinking
they're going
their
to try and
Trulies.
give these Oscars to actual popular movies. So Logan last year should have won an Oscar for best adapted screenplay. It didn't. Maybe this is how Logan gets an Oscar, but tell me this isn't super pandering and just trying to lure in people after the Oscars has their worst televised numbers ever.
Well, it for sure is.
Well, isn't that what you want them to do?
No, I want them to treat an actual best picture like the best movie of the year.
Well, see, the problem with that is that your interpretation of that is different than theirs, obviously. So they're
You
trying
weren't
to
there,
adapt.
dude.
I agree with you. But
I'm not supporting them. I'm just saying they're trying to adapt because they obviously know.
yes, but you're talking about the upper echelon of pretension.
Yeah.
You're talking about people who sit around sniffing their own farts,
Yeah, I get it.
talking about how great they are and how when a movie makes them question their morals and blah, 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 as opposed to an actual good movie that the majority of the population would enjoy.
It's a social group we do not understand.
Okay, but what's a better movie?
Okay, well,
Is
the
it
guy
a
banging the fish was a pretty good movie.
I enjoyed it. But
It was a good banging the fish kind of movie.
what's a better movie? A movie that makes a bunch of pretentious assholes think, or a movie that the wider audience actually enjoys?
I know, but what I'm saying is that we're not their target audience and they're realizing that, but that's not who these awards are for.
But they should be, and that's my point.
I agree with you on that, but I'm just traditionally that's not what these awards have been for. They've been
That's
for the
why
pretentious.
no one watches the Oscars anymore.
I agree with you.
That's why we should start the Chumpcademy Awards.
Oh,
We have
I
already
like
started
that.
Okay.
Just nobody watches that
I
either.
enjoy that.
I'm just saying,
I think
If
they're
you're
realizing that they're
out of date.
out of date. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's ridiculous. They're stupid. This is pandering. And they're saying that a movie can still be eligible for both Best Picture and Best Pop Culture Picture or whatever. Why don't you just give it to the best movie?
I feel like they should just do this internally and not broadcast it, and everything would be fine. Like, sure, like do it amongst your community of people that understand what you're trying to do, but like
The fart
don't,
sniffers.
you know what I mean? Like don't televise it. Don't, because we as you know, the rest of society that is watching it does not understand their culture and their, you know, for the
fart
most part.
sniffing.
Their
Yeah.
fart
Obviously.
sniffing. Yeah.
This
They're pretty
is-
deep in the fart
Yeah.
sniffing.
They're
They're
huge into
super
buttholes.
deep into the hole of the butt.
Obviously, they're doing this so that they can give an Oscar to movies like The Meg.
Oh, dear Lord. How dare you?
Best movie ever.
How dare you?
Which leads us into our movie review of the week, The Meg.
Boo.
51% on Rotten Tomatoes, 62% from fans. Directed by a guy named John Turteltaub.
That sounds right.
Todd.
I'm guessing you don't know this name, but he's directed some of my favorite movies of all time. Stop me when I've hit the limit. Cool Runnings,
Great movie.
All right.
Three Ninjas,
That was a great movie.
National Treasure 1 and 2.
Those are great movies.
Also, this movie is somehow based on a novel and has been rumored to have been in production since 1997.
Tell
They
me.
had
this movie.
20 years
Tell me.
to make this movie great.
Tell
Oh
me.
my God.
And this is what we got.
There
Wait,
were some
the
scenes
Meg?
that
Wait, are you serious?
Yes.
No.
Also, let me stop you there.
Whoa.
There are 7 fucking sequels to this book.
No.
7.
No. Please. Please. No. Don't make me see another
I'll be
one.
right
Please
back.
don't make
Keep
me see
talking.
one more. Please.
So this movie had
Was
an
it a
estimated
book? This
budget.
movie was a book?
It was several books.
It was so many. How? Oh my
This
God.
movie had an estimated budget of $140 million, projecting right now domestically for only $25 million opening weekend. But China is going to eat this up for many reasons.
Because I love sharks.
Well, 2 of the main characters are of Chinese descent,
And
and
because I
actual
love sharks.
Bing Bing Yi plays Su Yin,
Okay.
and she is a huge Chinese actress. She has won many awards. I'm guessing that her acting is so much better when she's actually speaking Mandarin
I was just going to
and
say
not
that is
trying to
that is
struggle through English.
news to me because I did not feel like she was a great
But
actress.
also, they set a good deal of this movie in Shanghai
Yeah.
and off the coast of China. So, yeah, Chinese people are going to eat this up.
Because they love sharks.
And also, they love Jason Statham. They love disaster movies. They love
Sharks.
big blockbuster American stuff.
Didn't
Yes.
they love Jaws? Like
Yeah.
a lot?
Everybody loved Jaws, though.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
It's widely regarded as one of the best movies of all time.
All right.
Okay, just because you didn't like it, because your mom didn't watch it, or let you watch it, it's
Okay.
it's still a great movie. The plot of this film. This weird aquatic lab is 200 miles off the coast of China, which, by the way, the Mariana Trench is way further than this. Way, like a couple thousand miles off the coast of China. Doesn't matter.
It does
Anyways.
kind of matter, though.
Anyways,
The timeline of that is quite a plot hole. I'm
It
not
doesn't
gonna lie.
matter.
They get
Okay,
there in like
it's a great
5
movie.
seconds.
hold it.
Sorry.
We'll get there.
Okay.
They have these deep sea explorers venturing below the bottom of the Mariana Trench, confirming their own belief that the floor, quote unquote, was just a layer of thick, gaseous something. They don't really talk about what it is, but they discover this ecosystem beneath that layer, and it's these prehistoric, untouched life forms, and they predictably open up this gateway for the Meg to escape.
The Meg just comes crushing up through the barrier of the Mariana Trench.
And we're off.
Okay.
So, Mark,
it's a great start. I'm not going to lie.
Requisite questions.
Is it?
What is the jackness? And give me your sick bloodlust.
God,
Go.
I'm excited. Okay. Jason Statham. Are we talking about Rainn Wilson? I'll start with Jason
Look,
Statham.
start with the jackness.
Okay. He's super jacked. And they do an unexpected, very quiet and not in your face type scene where it's just Jason Statham getting out of the shower, full 12-pack, just ripped. The one lady from China is just admiring him, but it's pretty great. He's super.
That was very PG of you.
He's super jack 3D guy.
He's just.
Can you tell me how that wasn't in my face?
How tall is Jason Statham?
That was very in my face.
No.
I'm out of the shower. Look at my abs. Look at me naked.
He was pretty subtle about it, though. He didn't he was just like, oh.
Jason Statham is 5'10".
I'm out of the shower right now.
Oh, you looking at
She
my
was
body?
like, oh, you're out of the shower.
Are you looking at my body right now?
And then
Is that
Bing
what you're
Bing
looking
walks
at?
in, and she's all like, oh no, I'm not supposed to be. It's like cat. It's like cat.
That's a good impression.
Yeah. What about your sick bloodlust? Mark, was your sick bloodlust satiated by this?
No.
Film? Not at all?
I think there needed to be a scene of a guy just getting ripped in half by two sharks.
There was.
No, there wasn't.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah, there was.
The most gore we had in this okay, I'm going to spoil it, but yeah, there wasn't.
All right, so let's just stop here. We're going to quote unquote spoil this because there's nothing to spoil. This is a movie about a giant shark. There's nothing to spoil. There's no plot.
There's
Shark
a
eats
very
people.
In-depth.
There are no spoilers for this.
In-depth, meaning like they go so far down in the ocean.
I see what you're doing.
My God.
Anyways, what I'm trying to say is we are not going to actually talk about plot points. We're just going to talk about shit that we liked or didn't like.
Okay, let's start
So
with
no
what
spoilers
we
for
didn't
this,
like,
but-
because there's very few things.
This movie was supposed to be rated R, and then the director, Jonathan Turtletaub,
Was pissed
Came
about
out.
it, too.
he was. Here's a quote from Jonathan. My wife is glad about it, and I'm glad my kids can see the movie.
But fuck
But
them.
But the number of really horrifying, disgusting, and bloody deaths we had lined up that we didn't get to do is tragic. I agree. We shot or even did a lot of visual effects for gory scenes. We just realized there's no way we're keeping it PG-13 if we show this. It's too fun a movie to not let people who don't like blood and people who are under, say, age 14 years old into the theater. I was very hesitant to cut a lot of blood and gore. I wouldn't have if I thought it was wrecking the story, but it wasn't. Well, joke's on you, John, because your movie sucked.
It was pretty bad.
As much as I don't love gore, well, okay, I guess I do. I don't
Shark
love
movies
it,
need
but you
guys
need-
getting their
yeah,
limbs
for
ripped off.
sure.
I'm not
like
going to
that's
lie.
what this movie is supposed to be about.
That's what it should have been.
Yeah, that's what it should have been. I agree.
Was Deep Blue Sea a great movie?
No.
Not really.
I disagree.
But we saw, it was because
It was
we
when
saw Samuel L. Jackson
got bitten in
scream,
half.
and the worst CGI thing ever had happened of just the worst CGI shark ever just ripping him in half. But it made the movie 10 times better. Besides, what's her name having to take off her clothes for some reason and then get up on the.
Did you watch it with your parents?
Yeah, I watched that movie with my parents, and then
Awkward.
rip down the wires and shock the shark, which made no sense. But okay.
All right, let's talk about the actual movie. How about that acting?
So
Bad.
bad.
But
So
hold on.
So
You have to
bad.
understand the audience, though.
Mark, defend it, please.
I'm going to
go.
defend it. I'm not going to defend Ruby Rose, right?
Ruby Rose
Yeah,
was very bad.
She was bad. There's no need for her to not be bad.
Can
but
we just talk about how she waffled on accents?
She's actually Australian.
No, I know she is, but she had a really difficult time covering it up in this movie, and I noticed it, and it was weird.
she's not a good actor.
So I didn't notice that, but also, what is the point of her covering up her accent? Just speak
Be
Australian.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
And
you're
it's
in
located-
China.
that's
who
located
cares?
Super
close
close to
enough, yeah.
Australia.
Right? That's what I didn't understand. Like the first couple times I heard her talk, I was like, "Oh, she's being herself." And I was like, "No,
I
she's
didn't
trying to
even
do an
notice
American
that.
accent," and I did not enjoy that.
Boy, this movie sucked.
Yeah. Well, the dialogue, the audience, of course, it's going to have a large presence in China because they're premiering it in China. It's going to be one of those blockbusters there. So you could easily tell by the dialogue, the English dialogue that everyone was having. It was very cookie cutter, like, oh my God, I need to save my daughter, which you're going to get with these movies. And I think me knowing that going into the movie, I understood it, but people are going to be like, oh, this is an American movie. Like, it sucks. Like, why are they acting like that? But it's because it has that international presence where, because it's all English, it's not going to, they're going to watch it mostly in English. So they need it to be easily comprehensible, I guess, is the way I would put it. So that's one thing you have to understand, but I'm not making excuses. It was still bad.
It sounds like you're making excuses.
Yeah,
but
I am making kind of excuses. But Jason Statham wasn't, he was
So
being
if
Jason
he-
Statham.
I mean, if
Yeah.
it was
No.
for a Chinese
Wait,
audience,
why was he terrible?
I disagree.
Why?
Jason Statham has been a good actor in movies.
Yeah. Give me an example.
Not
Not of him being a good actor. Like, he was fine in the last Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah,
Of-
that's what
of
I'm
in this
saying. Though.
movie.
It's like, what's the one where like he has a bomb in him and he has to keep his heart rate up? Shit. Can't believe I'm blanking on the name of this. I'm gonna look it up.
No, I'm talking about this movie. Like, what was one scene where you're like, holy shit, he's not even
the
doing
whole
It wasn't
movie.
him.
Literally
though.
the whole
It was
movie.
the
It was
writing.
terrible.
The
Oh,
writing
okay.
is so bad that every time he has a line, you're just like, what are
what are you even
talking
saying?
about?
What are you even saying right now?
And it wasn't just him. There was one portion of semi decent writing, and I'm putting that in quotes. And that was Rainn Wilson's speech, Dwight Schrute himself, after basically everybody's been murdered.
Yeah.
And they go back to the sea station and they're like, okay, what do we do now? He gives a halfway decent speech. And even that, like, he's not a good actor. And nobody expects him to be. And he gets what he deserves.
He's Dwight. He will never be anyone
But the
Dwight.
writing and the acting and even the directing and the editing is the last thing that you should ever notice in a movie. And it's so fucking terrible. It's so bad.
Pretty bad. And the shots they do are really,
Crank, by the way. Crank is what I'm thinking.
no, but it did remind me of like the older, not like super old, but the 90s, like Chinese movies I used to watch, Kung Fu movies, like the way they would, when they're showing somebody's face and talking, it'd be like, you'd have that glow in the background
yeah.
of like the sun hitting their face. And they do really weird, like
It's just very like choppy. Like
camera, not
Yeah.
angles, but
So
the
you're
way
talking
it
about
zooms
the
up on your
actual
face.
cinematography.
Yeah, the cinematography
it's
in
very
general.
choppy. Like it's very
But I don't know if that has to do with how they wanted it to fit into the whole Chinese film culture, because I thought it kind of did.
Man,
And
I don't know
what
the
I
hell
can
they were going
what I can
for.
remember from seeing kung fu movies and all that kind of stuff. But
This is
it was
the
bad.
opposite of a kung fu movie to me.
I know.
I don't equate that
I'm
at
just
all.
trying to think of a movie that had a very strong Chinese presence in it.
Rush Hour.
Yeah. But what about the levity?
Let's just get back.
What about the levity?
What levity?
Okay. The Asian
you know
kid.
what levity means, right?
Yeah, the Asian kid at the beach was
The
pretty
fat
funny.
kid.
The fat kid.
Okay.
He was pretty funny.
that was like 25 seconds.
The scene where who's the only guy that was who was the one black guy in the movie in their whole squad
I
that
don't know his name.
fell into the water with the little girl, and he was
Can
like,
we-
"Can you
all right.
wait for me?"
that
Let's
was
pause
not
there.
funny at all.
That was trying to be funny, and it was like, all right,
it
that's
was trying to
kinda
be funny, but it was not funny.
Here's the thing. I expected this to be a self-aware movie that would make fun of itself and realize how ridiculous it was. A la Sharknado. Or any of these other schlocky movies that know that they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
The
But Jason-
director did not take
No.
that path.
Jason Statham would not allow that to happen.
He's been in those movies. Crank 2, Crank 3 were all Transporter.
Those were good,
After the
though.
first one. No. He knows that this movie is going to be ridiculous. He even looks at the camera and says things. Just like, it's almost like he's speaking directly to Chinese theaters and saying, I know how stupid this is.
My mommy likes you too.
The director took this way too seriously.
What about that whole relationship? We need to talk about that.
That was super awkward. I did not understand that.
I was like, wait, she's still married, bro.
I'm so
Right?
mad. I'm so mad.
Just
thinking
every
about
part
this.
of this movie, I hated so much.
It was bad, but it was
It was so
This-
bad. It was so
I was
bad.
so excited the first time I saw a trailer for this because I'm like, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be so over the top ridiculous. It's going to be self-referential. It was none of those things.
What about the sharks?
Oh my
Yes.
god.
All right.
That's what the movie
How about
is.
this?
What about the sharks?
Say something good about this movie. Erica, you go first. Say one nice thing about this. All right, we'll come back to you. Mark, say something nice about this.
The one very predictable scene where we're supposed to
The
think
one.
that they just caught the Meg and they're hanging it up and showing it and just like,
You mean
yeah.
45 minutes into the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie's over.
So, and it's not the Meg. We all know that. And then you have Jason Statham just looking back and saying, wait, that can't be the Meg. And we don't even know this is about to happen, but it does. And the real Meg comes and it's huge and flops on the boat and everyone just flies off. All right. That was not a bad scene. You enjoyed that scene right there.
That was
Just,
hilarious.
it just ripped
It was
apart
so
the shark and the shark is so massive. It just like hits the boat and everyone just is flying off it. You're smirking because you remember that scene. That scene wasn't bad.
Okay. I
That scene
will
was
say,
not bad.
I
No.
will say, Erica, I have never seen you smile more during a movie.
Smile?
You turned and looked at me and smiled through the entire movie.
It was the most over the top, just so ridiculous. I could not help but be like, are you fucking kidding me? Is this seriously happening right now? The whole movie, I was like, is this for real? Is this really happening?
And they were always for real.
Okay. What I'll compare this to is that movie we saw with The Rock.
Rampage.
Yeah. These
Rampage.
I feel like those are on similar levels for
I
me.
thought this was better.
Do
And
you
than
remember
Rampage,
Skyscraper. Not Rampage. Skyscraper.
was it Skyscraper?
Yeah, you and I saw Rampage.
No.
Do you remember during that scene at the very end of that movie where it got super quiet? What happened?
With the gorilla.
You farted in the movie theater. And it
You
was,
did? You
no.
farted in the movie theater?
No, you as in Ryan farted.
I think it was Erica.
No, it
I
was
think Erica
no. Let's be clear about that. It was Ryan who farted in the movie theater when it was
And he tried
dead
coughing
silent.
to cover it up like,
no.
no.
Oh no, he did not try to cough.
There was no covering.
no. There was no covering
You're
up.
a
And the
piece of
girl
shit, dude.
that was sitting next to him
No,
looks over.
She wasn't sitting. She was sitting like 4 seats away.
Oh no, she was sitting next to me. You were on my right, and she was on my left.
She's just like,
And she looks over at me, and she was
does
just
the
like,
Dumb and Dumber.
"What the fuck just happened?"
I heard her go, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. And I look over at you, and my initial reaction was to be embarrassed, and then my other reaction was to be like, "That was the greatest thing I've ever experienced in my life." And we
That
just
was
literally
easily the most entertaining part of that
Ever.
entire movie.
okay, but back to the movie. Those two movies for me are on the same type of platform where it's over the top and you know what you're getting, right? But the movie with The Rock was so much better. The execution of that movie was
It was a lot
so
more
much
fun.
better than this movie. This movie felt like a ripoff of a couple movies, and I did not enjoy it at all.
I don't think
It
anybody's
just felt
gonna argue with
predictable.
you about that.
It felt predictable.
Yeah.
It felt the whole thing was. I can't even tell you one thing I liked except for that little fat Asian kid who was eating the popsicle.
There you go.
That
That's
was
something
it.
you liked.
That was all I liked. He was funny for 20 seconds.
Mark-
That was it.
Do you have something you liked?
I love the movie. I thought
What?
It was, I'm just kidding.
Get out of here. Get
I
out.
told you what I liked. I like that scene with the shark that just,
How
all right,
was that not
to be
predictable?
completely honest.
So you liked you liked it that it was predictable?
No. I thought that was
Mark
just a
doesn't
great
like
scene
being
in general.
surprised.
I like seeing the ridiculousness of everyone just flying off the boat and this fucking massive 800-ton shark hitting the boat and just making it look like a little Hot Wheels toy car. I actually didn't think there was some bad CGI, but I thought the underwater scenes for the most part looked pretty decent. Did you not?
Oh,
I-
they
they
were
were-
kind of cool.
They
If
were
I had to
believable.
say something good about this,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's that
Yeah.
the computer effects were really well done.
they were.
They had a good budget for it. The shark looked good. The sharks looked real when there were a ton of
Mhm.
them. I mean, that's pretty well done.
I just would have
Sorry, we're
preferred.
putting you to sleep.
Sorry.
I would have
hate this
preferred.
movie.
All right, I'm going to spoil the very last scene.
Nobody gives a shit.
We finally get the scene where the megalodon is killed. So
The Meg.
So, of course, Jason Statham works this megalodon shark, cuts its whole stomach open, but it just, of course, will not die. The reason it finally dies is because it's bleeding out, in the whole sea comes, all the sharks, all the hammerhead sharks, whatever, come and just rip apart the megalodon because it's blood in the water and it eats it. But what would have been great is if Jason Statham was killed from just a normal sized shark eating him, which is still massive. That would have been
amazing.
That would have been the cherry on top. That would have been perfect.
More sense than what actually happened.
There were so many of them.
He should have been eaten by a shark.
Just like,
he
wait a
been
minute.
Eaten by a regular shark.
Wait a minute.
There's no way that he would not have been.
All right.
I would have liked that a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Make a drinking game from this movie because I have several ways to do this. Every time a person falls off a boat for the second time,
not even the first,
take a drink.
That's great.
For the second time.
That's a great thing because people were falling off the boat, especially people that did it already and just kept doing it. Okay.
So many times.
Every time Jason Statham says the Meg, take a drink. Every time you die a little bit on the inside from watching this movie, take a drink. I want to hear, listeners, if you have a good drinking game for this movie, please send it our way. I'm very anxious to hear this. I want to know, did you guys have like a favorite quote or like a most ridiculous moment from this movie? Because I have a few.
I love the Chicago Bulls reference. It's super Chinese because whoever is like producing this movie, they're for sure being like, what do Americans like? What would they like seeing? Okay, when Rainn Wilson gets off the helicopter, they zoom in on his shoes. The red and black Air Force Ones, those are Jordan shoes. Yeah.
Interesting.
Those are Breads.
I didn't catch that.
And what was the dog's name?
Yeah, I remember.
What was the dog's name? Pippin.
Oh, you're right.
Scottie Pippen.
Pippen.
You're right. That's why they called it Pippin.
That's funny.
That's actually not.
Why?
They spelled it differently, and also
why? Because
Pippin,
the subtitle?
Yes. But also Pippin is a major
Scottish
character from I'm missing
Lord of the Rings.
It's an anime character, and I'm totally
really? Okay.
blanking on what it is.
Well,
maybe it is a Scottie Pippen.
I'm just going to go with.
He is also a character in Lord of the Rings. Pippin.
You know what? Maybe it was Scottie Pippen. I don't know, but I have several favorite moments from this movie, and we're just going to ruin them here.
I even like the very end when they just ended it with Finn.
I didn't get that.
Terrible.
Seriously, Finn, like shark fin, and Finn in French. Is end. Yeah.
So it's a Chinese French movie.
No,
it's just like what they. I
get what a fin is. I obviously know what a fin is.
It's just a reference to.
Just doesn't make any sense.
Old French movies used to end with Finn, and that was just the character.
That was literally the first thing I said, which was it's a Chinese French movie.
I mean, we're not Chinese. We're not French. It doesn't matter. Anyways.
I just don't get how that ties into the rest of it, other than it's a shark.
It doesn't. Does anything tie into anything in this movie?
That's why I hate this movie.
All right. My favorite part, personally, was the scene that you see in the trailer when the giant shark is going to go try to eat the little girl, but it's inside the tube. Apparently, there's a super important meeting going on while this is happening. So they feel the whole lab shake. And the first thing that Soo Yoon does is go, my daughter. Yeah. Oh my God. Because apparently she knows that the shark was trying to eat her daughter. The most ridiculous scene in any movie I've seen in the last 2 years. Easily.
It's like all of a sudden she cares about her daughter. It's like, what? You just went to this whole meeting where you didn't know where she was at.
My daughter. Is that a Chinese thing? Like saying my daughter? Like, why wouldn't you say like her actual name?
Why wouldn't you just say, oh shit. Right. Holy shit, there's a shark coming. You looked at me and you're like elbowing me and I'm like, oh, I get it. It's bad. I understand.
It's bad.
A few of my other favorite lines. The doctor, when he pulls Jason Statham out of the water, you may be an asshole, but you're no coward.
You're fucking right, man.
I'm just like banging my head off the seat behind me. The living fossil ate my friend. What do you...
Who would say that?
No one would ever say that.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't even want to ruin the rest of these. Mark, was this worse than Extinction?
No.
You don't think so?
It was better.
I think it was worse.
Really?
Was it worse than Action Point?
No, it was better.
I personally think this was the worst movie of 2018.
Really? Oh my God. I don't, because I think the effects and the visuals were actually not that bad.
Okay. I mean, it does have that on Extinction because Extinction's visuals were terrible.
Yeah.
What was your worst movie of
This
2018?
has Jason Statham. Even though he's not doing his best acting, it's still Jason fucking Statham.
Okay, so is Extinction your worst movie of 2018 so far?
Yeah, but I wouldn't even call it a movie because it's a Netflix film, and it's...
Well, it was supposed to be theatrically released.
The reason I say that is because when I go to a theater and see an actual movie I'm paying for, I'll be pissed if it's that shitty. Like, this was shitty, but still I have Movie Pass. I really don't care. But it's still
We talked about that last week,
yeah.
though.
But
what your rating would be had you had to pay $15 to go see it in a theater.
But it's still more of an effort to go to the theater,
get
there, park, get inside, and then sit down and all that shit, as opposed to just being on your couch. So,
Erica, I know you haven't seen nearly as many movies as we have. Have you seen a worse movie than this in 2018?
No.
This, for me, is the worst
what the
movie
hell,
I've seen
Erica?
this year.
This was not that bad of a movie.
It was so bad.
Mark,
it was pretty bad.
Rated out of 10.
4.
Erica?
-2.
Oh my God, no.
I'm going to give it a 2.
All right. I hated it.
I'm really pining for seeing this like on HBO in a month, just so we can just literally make drinking games.
Okay.
Because I will come up with a dozen of them.
Watch it again. I guarantee you'll give it a 6.
Every time somebody looks like they didn't know that the camera was on them, take a drink.
That was one thing I was upset about. I thought Jason Statham was just going to be like, oh my God, it's a megalodon.
He did
at
do
least
that,
5
like a
more
dozen times.
No, he did it once. He just did it once.
He said the Meg at least 7 times.
The Meg.
The Meg.
What did I tell you? It's a Meg, and I told you, and you're still calling me a piece of shit. Fucking pipe of shit. Fuck.
All right, calm down.
And everyone just blames him for everything. And I'm like, dude, he's coming back to help you guys.
He's literally saving all of you.
Okay,
can
we talk about that plot hole?
Please, go ahead.
Can we talk about the plot hole?
He saved what's her name, and she's like, you killed my friend.
Hold on.
Thank you for reminding me, because I totally forgot about that until just now.
Yeah.
So we walked out of the movie, and you were like, that movie had so many plot holes, and I couldn't think of one until today. Look, say what you will about this movie. Plot holes outside of this one don't really exist, but this one is important. The beginning of the movie, Jason Statham is, a few years ahead of current day.
5 years before, to be exact.
Saving people from a sunken nuclear submarine. And something is kicking in the side of their sub. But this is before they opened that gateway from beneath the Mariana Trench. So what was doing that?
What was doing it?
Wait.
Oh, are you going to
Did I
tell
just
me?
ruin this
Are you
movie
gonna
for
tell
you?
me?
No, wait. Okay. You can make an assumption here.
I will.
There were 2. Okay. The first shark they caught was huge. It was megalodonish.
Yeah.
It was maybe like the megalodon's dad or something. Maybe the dad was out in the actual open.
No, it was more like his
Megalodad.
Yeah, megalodad.
great-great-grandfather.
Okay. Yeah, it was a super old looking shark. I kind of felt bad for it. I'm like, damn, you guys
I
killed
mean, he's
that
like
thing.
a little bit bigger than a regular shark.
It ate like 20 people.
So I was still like, damn, I kind of feel bad for that shark now.
Such a dick.
But you can maybe make the assumption that this thing has actually been in the ocean.
Why would you make that
wouldn't it have been
assumption?
eating people before?
Because
No,
the
it's
prequel
a
to that
plot
was
hole. It's a
Jaws.
plot
I don't know.
Because the
Why
prequel
didn't they?
to that was Jaws.
Why didn't they focus back on his ex-wife that was in the hospital bed the whole time until the very end? Like, I thought she died
That
or
is-
something.
What kind of bullshit false equivalency is that?
No.
What do those have to do
Obviously,
with each
they're
other?
going to leave things out and not explain them to the fullest.
No.
No,
but
that's
I'm just
kinda
trying to make an
huge
assumption
because
here.
that's what
I'm
the
just trying
movie
to
is
make an
based on.
assumption.
The movie is based on the fact that I don't even remember that guy's name because I could care less. He saved those people from the megalodon is what they implied, and they wanted him to come back and save them from whatever.
And they were still dickheads.
That is
to
a
him.
plot hole.
Yeah.
And you know it. Just admit it. Mark.
Stop. Hold on. I'm
It's a
trying to,
plot hole.
let me think.
Figure it out
All right.
in your brain.
Okay.
Good luck.
This is what we need to do. We need to redo this podcast
Okay.
next week after
Mhm.
seeing the movie one more time.
Uh-huh.
Because I
3
guarantee
more
you,
times.
you will bump up your rating at least 2 points after seeing it again. But,
Okay, so I'll bring it from a -2 to a 0.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Worst movie of 2018.
we should text the director, or we should tweet the director is what we should do.
And ask him
Gladly
about that
will.
because I'm very curious.
Or the writer.
Hey,
we should figure it out.
I noticed you came from 3 Ninjas to this. Where did you go wrong?
I think you meant slow runnings.
Cool runnings.
Yeah.
Hot runnings.
Fast runnings. Let's do our recommendations so we can close this out.
Ooh.
Mark, do you have a recommendation?
No,
or should I go
Hold
first?
on. I had one and I just blanked.
I'm going to
I
go
was too
first.
deep in the Meg.
Hard Knocks is back, baby.
God, that was my recommendation.
Suck a dick.
Oh, I just watched
Hard
the
Knocks
first
is back.
episode today.
I made Erica watch it. This time, we get mediocre financial advice from Carl Nassib.
Yeah.
Mark, do you watch this?
Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
I watched the first episode this morning.
So you saw Carl Nassib try to tell these guys they can earn 10% interest every year.
Oh,
yeah,
that was
I
funny.
loved how we drew it out on the board. It
Can
was
he
great.
can he come advise me? Because I would love to know how I can make
His
more
math
money.
isn't wrong.
I know it's not, but
But his
it's just
numbers
like,
are
I
terrible.
loved it. It's like,
He's
that's why I
trying to
didn't buy a
convince these
Rolex.
guys. Look, I love Hard Knocks. Erica, you kind of
I do actually.
tolerate it?
I know. I actually enjoy it. I do enjoy it.
It's like reality TV for you, but
Yeah.
it has football. And,
I enjoy it.
you know, the way they treated Hugh Jackson during this made me kind of sad. Like,
Wait,
they're
who's
just...
Hugh Jackson?
Hugh Jackson was the head coach whose brother
Oh,
and mom
died?
had
Oh.
just died.
In like a 2-week. Oh, that was horrible.
Yeah, that was
hard to
and
watch.
I get, like, as a TV producer, that's exactly what you want, but also, wow, you're really exploiting that guy.
Yeah. I mean, I think they did it. They didn't exploit him in a way that a lot of reality TV shows do.
They
But I
really
mean,
zoomed
you
in
know,
on
that
his
was
face
like-
when he was crying.
I mean, there were cameras in his office. If things like that happen in his office, you know, I mean, I don't know. I feel like reality TV shows really exploit, and I don't think that this one did as much as it could have. But
Okay.
I mean, it happened in his life. I mean, that's what's happening in his life, and you're
Yeah.
recording what's happening in your life. So I don't know.
Well,
I didn't
that's-
think they went over the top to exploit him. You know, I mean, it was sad and it was
I
hard.
struggle with it because
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to watch. It is.
the
for
cameras
sure.
hung on him for a little too long.
Yeah.
A couple times.
But it did seem like the cameras were just like placed in his office, and they just caught like a
Yeah.
long extended office visit.
Yeah,
That was not
that's fair.
ideal, you know.
But anyways, that's my recommendation for the week.
I like
Catch
it.
up on Hard Knocks. Coming out every Tuesday.
I like it. I enjoy it.
Mark, did you find yours?
Yeah, super nerdy, but the Death of Superman animated film just came out.
Ooh, really?
I haven't seen it yet. I would like anyone that has seen it. I will recommend it to you to watch it and then let me know via Twitter how it was. But yeah, that I'll probably end up watching it sooner or later. But yeah,
I
that's
love DC
my only
and
recommendation.
Marvel animated,
No,
The Death
you
of
love
Superman
DC animated movies.
and I like Marvel. Oh, the
Just
Marvel
name
ones aren't really
one
okay.
that you've watched.
Yeah, there's not
The Marvel
many.
ones aren't
There's
really
not
as
many.
good. You're right. I do
Some of them
prefer
are.
the DC animated.
This is a good story too.
Yeah?
Good Superman story. Probably the only one that I know actually.
I actually don't really love Superman.
Death of Superman, which I love. Great.
You don't know
Nice.
Red Sun or anything like that? Doesn't
No.
matter. Erica, do you have a recommendation?
I do. I have two. My first one is a show called Making It with Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman. It's on NBC, and it's basically just a crafting competition show, but with Amy.
Sounds riveting.
I know it sounds riveting, but Amy Poehler and Nick Offerman from Parks and Rec obviously make everything really exciting. They're hilarious, and Nick Offerman seems like he's similar to his character on Parks and Rec, Ron Swanson. He's super into woodworking, which really plays well into the show.
Are you calling him a one-sided actor? Is what you're doing right now?
Because this is a reality show. I mean, he's acting a little bit, but I don't really think so.
It's a good look for him.
It is. I think it's funny. I think you might have to enjoy crafting to appreciate this show, but it's still got a humor to it that I enjoy. And my second recommendation, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this show, but I just started watching it. I'm super into it at the moment. I'm almost done with the series, and it is incredible.
Give it to me. What is it?
It's called Game of Thrones,
Oh my god.
and I'm obsessed with it.
Never heard of it.
I figured you haven't heard of it, but I wanted to let your listeners know that it's incredible, and I think everybody should watch it. It's riveting.
Hey,
Is it like based on a comic book or
I'm pretty sure it's based on a book, not a comic book, but an
wait,
actual
like an
book.
actual book?
Yeah, I think it's based on an actual book.
I don't
I don't know.
Get that
You know
shit
what?
out of
You
here. I don't give a shit about actual
you
books.
probably haven't seen it though, so I don't want to spoil it for you. So I'm just going to say that's my recommendation.
sounds lame.
Wow.
It might be lame.
It really does. Game of Thrones, get out of here.
But if this was an HBO show and it was the most amazing HBO show of maybe all time, I have this question, and we actually talked about it on our episode with E-Man. So listeners out there.
Whoa. Are you going to spoil this for me?
No, I'm not
I'm not
spoiling
done.
anything.
Okay.
Listeners out there that are diehard Game of Thrones fans. If there was a service at the movie theater where you can watch the upcoming season, would you go to the theater? Text us or find us on Twitter, whatever, and let us know yes or no. We're just curious because we had a thought, like if they decided, well, E-Man had a thought, if they were to stream this in movie theaters or play it in movie theaters and make it like a season pass to go watch it.
Absolutely.
Or just
We would go see it.
So what would be, wait, explain
would
it
you
to
go
me
out
though.
to,
Like,
would you go out to movies?
so
E-Man-
every Sunday I would have to go
to a movie
to
theater.
a movie theater and
But
watch this?
you,
You wouldn't have to, but you had the opportunity to go see it
0%.
with other people.
given
I
though,
would absolutely
given
go
though
see
you would, this would be a thing like, okay, if my group of friends doesn't commit to this, I'm probably not going to do it. But could you see yourself? Like,
No.
Okay.
Because I would
All right.
invite my friends
I'll go with
over
you.
at my house
Mark,
to
I'll
watch
go with
Game of
you.
Thrones, and I would make food and sit in the comfort of my own home.
We're
I
going
think
to
a
the
lot of
theater.
people would be like
Really?
that.
You think
I'm
so?
just curious.
Yeah. 100%. That's the end of this episode.
Well, and I have another recommendation.
Watch Game of
Go ahead.
Thrones.
All right. You know, I'm an avid HBO show watcher,
Oh,
and I'm
here we
watching
go.
Sharp Objects, and
Oh,
I will
yeah?
tell you right now, it fucking sucks. It has.
I did not expect you to
All
say
right.
that.
Okay. It doesn't fucking suck, but it
But also it
had a
fucking
good direction,
sucks.
and it's gone nowhere so far. It's a lot of repetitive bullshit, making you think like, oh my God, could that be true the whole fucking time? It's kind of like Big Little Lies. I'm not going to lie.
Ugh.
I'm not going to lie about Big Little Lies. I'm not lying, but I'm to talk about Big Little Lies. Big Little Lies
It's the
was
worst
probably
show
better at this time throughout the season than Sharp Objects has been. Like, get to the fucking point. So it's got to pick up a little bit. So if you disagree with me, tweet me, bitch at me, whatever. I just had to get that out there.
No, you're supposed to say, don't at me.
Yeah, don't at me.
Don't
bro.
at me.
Let me hear what you guys think. I just don't think Sharp Objects, it has to go somewhere because it's boring as fuck right now, to be honest.
I don't care.
You're going to watch it though, eventually,
No, I'm
don't you think? No?
All right. For next week, we want to hear your Thanos replacements, I guess, for Infinity Stones.
Sure.
You can find us on social media at the Chumpcast, or you can call or text us at 847-920-6107. I don't know what next week is. What movie's coming out next week? Does it matter? It doesn't. We'll find something, and we will talk to you then. Until then.
Movies next week. Chumps out, motherfuckers!
Bye.
You could see the bike again.
Oh
There we go.
my God.